This is actually a continuation of the verse that we started with. That's chapter 18, verse 1 in Genesis, Parashat Vayeira. And we discussed the different ideas behind a lav, but now we're going to discuss something a little bit different. He begins by saying, L'horos al zeh shemara zu hayesod ba'avor hamilah. And in order to teach this, when he appeared to him, it was on account of the milah, meaning that God came to do bikur cholim. God himself came to present himself to visit the sick. The milah, during the third day especially, is the most hardest day, painful day, vulnerable day. And God appeared to him to comfort him in his, I'm not going to call it an illness, but in his pain. Nira elav be'elonei mamre. And where was this? He appeared to him in a place called the trees of Mamre, or the field, the plateau, the plains. Kiladat Rashi. So according to Rashi says, Hu shenatan lo eitza al hamilah. This is talking about Mamre. He's the one that gave counsel to Avraham regarding the Brit Milah, the circumcision. V'nira shalomadze mimashin emar. And it seems that we learn this, that this can be learned from what it says. Be'elonei, elonei is trees, plural. Lashon rabim. Not one tree, but many trees. Ki haya b'pamahu b'harbe elonim. Right? Was it there? Must have been then. Many trees. That's what it says. Hayalolomar be'elon mamre. But shouldn't it have just said the tree of Mamre? You want to tell me Mamre gave him counsel. So on account of that, in the zchut, in the merit of that, he gets a mention in the Torah. In the tree of Mamre. What does all these trees have to do with anything? Even though there were many trees that belonged to this particular person, Mamre. Vahayu ahale Avraham mitpashtim bekulam. It was that the tents of Avraham were spread out amongst all of these trees, or in the plains of. Mikomakom hayadai kishiyit pashet zohar ziv shchinato yisbarach ba'oto elon shaya Avraham bi'atzmo shochen bo. That nevertheless, it would have been enough that the Zohar Ziv Shchinato Yisbarach, that the supernal light that shines from the divine presence of God, it would have been enough to spread in that one particular tree that Avram himself dwelt under. Elavadai, you can say for certain, since there happened to have been, there was to this man, Mamre, some type of merit and a portion in the mitzvah of this circumcision by Avraham. Al kenira Hashem b'chol elonav. Therefore Hashem appeared in all of his trees, in all of Mamre's trees. Umitam zeh ne'mar gamkein. And for this very reason, we already said, it was said, Vayeira olav, that he appeared unto him. Kidei shelo tomar, in order that people should not say. Remember, we're saying that was one person unto him, as opposed to what? Shem kol yilidei beito shel Avram hayu ba'oto nelonos. Maybe it wasn't just for Avram's sake. Remember, look at the previous verse. And that discusses the idea that Avraham had all of his children, all of his servants, all of the people that he acquired. They all got circumcised. They all had been circumcised. Maybe the light came on account, or maybe God's presence came on account of all of them. V'kulam nimolu, because all of them had been circumcised. Al kein yizrach or Hashem al kulam. Remember, this is what we're saying you don't say. This is what people might say. Therefore, the light of God came to shine upon all of them, but lo ba'avur Mamre. Maybe Mamre wasn't included. Tamid Lomar, so the Torah teaches us that Mamre was included. And not only he was included, but the light did not come for everyone else but Avraham. It says, Vayeira Olav Hashem. God came and appeared to him. Lema'et kol yilidei beito u'miknei kaspo. To exclude all of the children of his household and any of his servants or anything else that he acquired. Al Kain, therefore, Vadai Schuta Mamre Garma. Therefore, we can say with certainty that it was on account of Mamre that this was caused. What was caused? The God's coming to him and the light, and the idea that Mamre gave him counsel, and he got a mention in the Torah. V'yitachen lomar, it's certainly possible to say that the words Eloneh, or the word Eloneh, Eino Lashon Mishur, is not referring to a plain, a plateau, a flat area, Ella, but rather what is the word Eloneh referring to? Makom shayu bo ilanot shomamre. For sure, we're talking about a place that had in it the trees of this man Mamre. And it's even proven, we can prove from this, from the fact that it says, V'hisha'anu tachas ha'etz. Avraham asked these three passerbyers, the wayfarers, to lean, to rest under the tree. Again, it says tree, it doesn't say anything but. It's one tree, ha'etz. K'hayusham ilanot harbe. Now we already knew, because of the word Eloneh, there were lots of trees. So he had them sit under one tree, even though certainly there were many trees. Chazal say, this is in Gemara Shabbos 108, side A, Minai lemila shahi ba'ot makom. From where is it known that the circumcision should take place in that particular place, meaning that particular member? Ne'emra arla bi'ilanos, ne'emar arla kan. Just as orla is true, is a concept, is a law when it comes to fruit trees, meaning the first 3 years that a tree has been growing, a fruit tree has been growing, so that any fruits that do grow from there, which usually don't grow so much in the first 3 years, but anyway, any fruit that does is forbidden. There's no way to redeem them. So too here, it also uses the word orla. So just like the trees have orla, concept of orla, and we're talking over here also about orla. Orla is the covering of the membrane of the member that must be cut. Ma lahalan makom she'osa peiros, just like over there by the trees, is a place. Its place is that which makes fruit. The tree produces the fruit. Af hamila b'makom she'osa peiros. So too, the place of the milah will be done in a place that produces fruit. As we all know, children are our produce, and they are our generations to come. And that is the todos and the peros, the beautiful, beautiful fruits that come from us. And it all starts in that place. We also find in Reshit Rabbah, in the Medrash, Shahaya Avraham Nesupak Mehechan Yamo, that Avraham was in doubt exactly where the circumcision should take place, where on his body. Min ha'peh, o min ha'ozin, o min ha'lev v'chulei. He wasn't sure which limb. Maybe it's from the mouth, perhaps it's from the ear, or better yet, maybe it's the heart. Al kenigla ur Hashem, al kol ha'ilanos. Therefore, God revealed His light upon all the trees, kamara makom lomar, as if to show the place by saying, or the source by saying, Histakel bi'ilanois elu, v'tilmod mehem. Look at the trees. Look at these trees. Look at all these trees, the light, and learn from them. Well, we're not yet talking about the light. We're talking about the trees themselves. Ki ikar zrichat kavod Hashem al makom she'osa peiros. Therefore, the prime light of God shone upon the place that makes fruit. We're talking about the trees. So too, Mizel Lamad, from this you can learn a hekesh. You can learn to make this connection. Connect the dots. That Shetachaze Elohai Mibsarcha Mitzad Makam Hadoime Lilanois. That God is showing you, right? Where does God appear in your flesh? From the aspect of something that must be similar, comparative to the trees, which we just discussed is the place of the fruits. So he knew from there that he must make the circumcision on the member. But 1 second, we're left with a very strong question. Why did the verse mention that they were the trees of Mamre? Furthermore, what did Avram do before the light shined upon him? Before the light shined upon him, this light of the glory of God. Rather, certainly, it was Mamre himself that gave the counsel, this good counsel, out of logic, pure logic, as we just worked out ourselves. That the milah, the circumcision, is supposed to be done in that place that produces fruit. V'hiskim Hashem al yado, that God agreed with Mamre al yedei shenirei elav kavod Hashem be'elonei Mamre, by showing him, though the glory of God rested on the trees of Mamre. B'zem yushav hakol, and this satisfies every question. Ki Kli Yakar. Certainly, this is a clear explanation, a dear explanation. If you have any questions, feel free to write me at Aaron Dovid, AARONDOVID, at YIBONEH.com, YIBONEH.com. Shabbat Shalom.